Okay, we appear to be live. I mean, the same joke I always make. I'll wait for YouTube to send me my usual email saying, "Hey, did you know you're live on your channel?" You're going to get almost as tired of me making that joke, and it's not a joke, but you're going to get as tired of hearing that as I am getting that fucking email. But, such is life. I'm sure you'll be fine. Hello, everybody. My name is Levi Clay, and today we're going to be doing some live transcribing. We're going to be transcribing some Julian Lage, wonderful player. I was going to say a wonderful jazz player. There's the email. I was going to say a wonderful jazz player, but I don't think it's really right to think of him as a jazz player, as strange as that seems. He's just a musician. And I don't mean that in a pretentious way. I mean that when I think of jazz musicians and what that encompasses, I don't really think of Julian in that realm, if that makes sense. His playing is this. I said it to somebody on my Discord server just this week. I think he has a little bit too much classical, like really strong classical influence in his playing to be a jazz player. There's so much of that Bach counterpoint stuff in there. Now, of course, he has all of the wonderful jazz harmony. He's also a great, like solo acoustic guitar, fingerstyle type player, great blues player. Just honestly, an all-round wizard of the guitar. I caught him live recently in Glasgow, and it was just solo, just him and an acoustic guitar. And I was just absolutely taken aback by how great he was. You know what I mean? Like, it was just you just felt like you were watching a true master at work, somebody that's just completely fluent with the instrument. And the only thing that we were getting was the guitar wasn't there. It was just the music that was in him was just coming out, just flowing out. Absolutely loved it. So, he's great, and we're going to look at his stuff. Let me know the stream is working, though, by popping something in the comment section. That's always a big help. I guess I can check like this. Levels should be okay. Yeah, I'm definitely online. Okay, I can. I can. Can I can? I don't know if I can. I can't can. I can see that we have people watching, so drop a comment. It helps give me things to talk about, obviously. Improvising genius. Yeah, absolutely. Just some the weird thing about him is like his music isn't my favorite, and it's never going to be like top level. Nice spot on the Isaac tattoo. I've also got an entire forearm of Isaac. So he's never going to be like in my favorite composers, like musically, like the stuff that he makes is never going to be up there with the stuff that I love. I do love what he does, don't get me wrong, but when I think of like a fully formed player, like the kind of pinnacle of what the guitar can be, the outcome of a lifetime of study, and he's had this lifetime of study since he was very young. It's just astonishing. Like, there's just a deep musical thing going on. He's a true rare talent. You don't see guys that good very often. So when you do, they should be celebrated. So we're going to transcribe one of his things today. I am, of course, going to play some guitar for you. I'm playing, in fact, I can press a button and show you. I've got my Gibson ES446, which is very cool. It's strung up with 15s, 15 on the top, and they're flat wounds. I like that. I think there's a nice dynamic consistency to playing strings that are super beefy like that, and I only play clean these days, so a nice clean tone. That's going to get you there. So I will be using this guitar. Of course, give me feedback on levels. If there's anything not quite right about levels, we can adjust that as we go. But I think I've checked, and I think everything should be there. So What else do I have to say? Oh, I have to run an ad for my new website, so get excited by this. If you're looking to take your guitar practice to the next level, then check out guidedpracticeroutines.com. We have over 100 hours of full instructional videos and practice routines, so we can practice together and progress faster. Now, these all come with full Sound Slice integration and Guitar Pro downloads. You'll also have access to my entire YouTube archive of transcriptions. So check out the link in the description and be the first to know when we go live. So Guided Practice Routines is coming. Do check out the link in the description and sign up to get news of when we go live to get our special founders discount. Lots and lots and lots of, like, that's not a typo, 100 hours of practice routines, 100 hours of lessons, videos of me teaching you everything, all the lessons, and then us actually playing the full routines together. So you log in, go to your routine that you're working on that week, and we'll practice it together. It's going to be something really special. I've been pouring my heart and soul into it for literally years at this point, and I can't wait. We launch in 22 days, I think. So that's going to be really cool. Anyway, let's have a look. Ethan King O'Brien says, I saw him earlier in the year. He was fantastic. I noticed that he hums a considerable amount while playing. Yeah, I'm not sure if he does it for chord tones or to remember the structure of the piece. I think that that's one of those kind of involuntary things that people who are so deeply connected with the music that they're playing do. It's like the music comes first. The vocalization is the music, and the guitar is just the tool in which he's using to express that. So he's really just engaging with the music that he's hearing. I think that's kind of how I would interpret that. But yeah, good observation. So why don't we jump on over to the piece and I will tell you all about it. Of course, actually, this stream is also brought to you by my friends over at Guitar Pro. I'm transcribing in Guitar Pro. That's the software here on the right. They currently have 20% off, so you can go and get yourself 20% off of Guitar Pro for a limited time. Also 50% off My Songbook. I'll talk a little bit more about My Songbook. To be clear, My Songbook is the name of the product, not a songbook by me. Yeah, so big thanks to my friends over at Guitar Pro. 20% off. I think that sale is live for another 2 or 3 days. So act now and get yourself a deal. So as always, I have the transcription loaded up in the top left. This is Transcribe, the software Transcribe. So when I press play here, everything's going to play. I have the video playing along with that. Now that is also loaded into Transcribe. So when I load the video up, that loads. And actually, I can't believe this didn't occur to me when I was doing the transcription last week, when someone said that my workflow where I work with the audio in Transcribe rather than in Guitar Pro seems strange to them because they load their audio into Guitar Pro, but you can't load a video into Guitar Pro, at least not yet. And that might be a hint for Guitar Pro 9. It might not be. Yeah, so that's the software where I have my software set up. So I'll listen to the audio in Transcribe up here on the left, and then I'll write it in Guitar Pro. But something interesting needs to be discussed with this particular transcription. So if we listen to his playing, for any of you that have watched any of my streams before, you'll know that step one of doing a transcription like this is marking the file out. So actually putting in where the measures are. Now you can do that here, but if you listen to it, it's what you call free time, right? He push and pulls with the tempo. So really laying out the bars and beats beforehand can take an inordinate amount of time. And my focus when I'm doing a transcription like this, especially for something like Guitar Pro, is I want the transcription in Guitar Pro to be perfectly synced with the audio. Now, I've got a great workflow for that, and I'm going to show you that now. So what I will do is I'll go to the start of the transcription, which will be here, and then I'll just zoom out so I can get the whole thing. Don't really need the whole thing because there's no way I'm transcribing all 2 minutes and 34 seconds of this because it's tremendously hard. I'm going to export a sound file from Transcribe. I just have a super low res MP3. I think it's just nice for size reasons. And then if I go into Guitar Pro and load up the audio import function, which is accessed with, you can't see, hang on, accessed with this button up here. Click that, load up my audio import, and now, let me just find the audio file. Now I can click and drag that audio file in here. Now the audio is in Guitar Pro. So when I press play in Guitar Pro, the audio will actually play. So I want to ignore this audio. Okay, so for me it isn't here currently, but I'll deal with it as I go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my transcription, and I imagine actually that's tremendously loud in Guitar Pro, isn't it? Yeah, it's really loud. Let me bring that down. That looks a bit better. How are the levels and everything? Oscar Peterson used to hum too. Yeah, he absolutely did. And Naviz87 says, "Hi Levi. Hello. I hope you are well. If you're watching this stream and you think that there's cool educational content in here, please do share it on social media. It is a huge help. I'm going to devote, a couple of hours to doing this, and it sounds crazy, but it doesn't. It sounds egomaniacal. It's really, really hard to stream for 2 hours and talk at a camera and be educational when literally no one is watching. It just becomes so much easier to do that when I know that there's a lot of people watching. Not for an ego reason, but because I say things, you have questions, you leave them in the question, in the live chat, I can read the questions and get back to you. It makes the whole experience, well, first of all, helps with my sanity, but I think it makes the overall experience better. So if you think this content is cool, please do share it with somebody, because that's how it grows. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to listen to what he plays. I'll slow it down. Now, immediately off the bat, we can hear he's playing double stops, right? Now, to me, I would write this all as eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and... Is it 4, a bar of 4, 4? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Yeah, so it's not really even a bar of... it doesn't really line up as a bar of 4. I hear this as a phrase in 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, with space at the end. So I'm going to write as though we're in 3. But I'll put a 3 time marker in just so that helps us. And then, like I said, it's double stops. So from there, it's a case of listening to what he plays and trying, now this is like one of the hardest things you can do in ear training, trying to be able to hear and vocalize both parts. So I hear this. And I've got... But I have the visual cue. So if you were to see what I was doing there, I found the top note and I found the bottom note. But I have the visual cue of like looking at how his hand is formed. And I can see he's playing in, if you're a Cage guy, in that G shape. So Alan Webb has said 6/8. We could hear it like that. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But then you have all this space at the end. I think when it's free time, of course, the difference between 3/4 and 6/8 is 6/8 is compound time. So I'll look at the camera. 6/8 is compound time. It's a beat where you have, it's a measure where you have, like, what is I'm trying to say here? The dividing beats aren't 2s, it's 3s. Compound time. So 6/8 and 3/4, they're the same in terms of eighth notes. They both contain 6 eighth notes, but one of them is grouped as 2 3s. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. So it's a 2 beat measure. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. Whereas 3/4, of course, has 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and this. Yeah, I'm hearing it as 3/4 to be honest. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and rather than 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, because there's a definite, that's a phrase or a melody. Then we have this, and then, sorry, and then this. It's like 1 and 2 and 3, and that's how I'm hearing that 3/4 rather than being 6/8. But when it comes to time signature things, it's very much an interpretative thing than it is a factual thing. So, well, sometimes. Okay, so I'll write that out, and I've got my first chord. So something like this working with a guitar, is much better for me because it allows me that time to look for what's being played. That makes sense. We're just kind of going up our G shape major triad. Now I want to check your fingering for this, because notes wise we have so like a major triad harmonized. Yeah, so if you look at his hand, he's all in position, then he shifts. So he's not playing that here. He'll be playing or is he? It's hard to say for sure. Yeah. So like this. And then 6th on top. Yeah, so he's holding this E-shaped triad. Oh no. I think I can't decide if there's a D on the bottom. You can hear the F sharp ringing through. Is he playing? Or yeah, I like that. Just get the second part of the phrase. Ooh. Oh, that's the downside. I can't see El Paso C&W waltz. Yeah, double something on a major chord. So it's going to be like a C6 over B flat. A minor 7 over B flat. So we come from. I can hear bo. That's tricky on the hands. Don't like having to do that, but that's what we have. Yeah, like a C7 sound. Interesting. And the same double stops. And then before the repeat. So we'll write this. We'll write, is it? We'll talk about that from a technique perspective. Like this, okay. So let's just talk from a technique perspective for a second. Let me bring myself up. Just that mechanically playing this double stop on 9 and I'm looking over here, but my camera's here. So 9 and 8 on the G and B strings, and then hammering on 11 and 10. So it's like a minor third hammered on is tremendously difficult. We're playing. That's a really tricky phrase, but it's really, really nice. But then you hear him play it. The speed he executes that at. It's brisk. It's super brisk. And it reminds us, much like... because I mentioned that I think Julian has a lot of classical in him. It feels like he has a classical approach to his playing as well. So speaking to somebody that's studying the piano and working with piano teachers, the pedagogy surrounding that as an instrument is so different from that of the guitar, and their approach to making you want to practice the physical motions that you work on. In the classical guitar world, which is something that I did dabble in college, you will take a mechanic like that and you'd work on trilling it, you know, which is just so difficult. But he's obviously put in the time. Anyway, so let's look at how we're going to sync that. So now you can see that what I've done is I've transcribed the thing. Now, if I look at the audio in transcribe at the bottom, we can line up. This is where beat 1 is. And what I do, is I'll isolate the audio for just the actual recording that I've imported into Guitar Pro, and then up here I will come and I will bring this down to maybe 70%. So now I can now see that's where beat 2 begins. So I can then double click and drag, and we have beat 1 is synced there, and then there, 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 and actually there, and then I want my phrase to start here, so I'm just essentially going to shorten that. So now if you look at the sync points in the audio at the bottom, we're kind of around 134 BPM, but then he slows down a little bit because, of course, rubato, time feel, and then this is 184 because he's just, I don't want to say rushing, he's not rushing to get to the next phrase, but that feels like the flow. That's the way I would choose to notate this. So now because I've done that, now the file in Guitar Pro will play kind of the way I want it. Now, there's definitely arguments of how you might choose to conceptualize this and notate this. You could think of this as being like a trill all within the beat. So, yeah, one and one and one and one. It's really hard to do. 1, 2, 1, and you could, but the kind of beauty of the sync system in Guitar Pro is that it means that I don't have to spend the time worrying about that. The other thing that you could look at is, so there's a degree of interpretation that has to go into this. This is obviously all ring, so these ring out, then this rings out. Now this B flat in the bottom here, let's put a key in. This is in D, and this is a B flat. So this B flat, it actually does hold out, but I think it ends up looking messy to do something like that. So you have to put enough faith in the person that's interpreting your transcription, I think. This will make the audio sound a little bit better. If I take that off. See, it's now, I don't want to say perfect, but it plays along correctly if we listen to it in isolation. It's doing the best it can with the MIDI. If that makes sense. Let me read these comments. I'm finding it's getting the fingers in sync the difficult part. If I'd practiced that, I'd learn it like a pianist, where you hover the fingers over. Yeah, exactly what I'm talking about. You kind of see what I mean when I talk about that classical thing. It's like, it wouldn't surprise me if he had a lot of piano lessons when he was younger, and that discipline of playing piano is something that he brought over to his study of the guitar. Guitar Pro has to find a way to import videos to tablature. We're in 2025. Nothing new since then. Hang on, let me fully understand what it is that you're saying there. Guitar Pro has to find a way to import videos to tablature. Are you talking about just automatically doing the transcription for you? What would be the fun in that? Or do you mean just being able to play videos in the software? Yeah, I agree with that. Like, I think if you were writing this in classical music, you would probably go you'd probably notate it like that. I'd flip my grace notes. So I think that's the idea conceptually, but I think it ends up looking really messy on the page. Whereas I think that, I mean, obviously I don't actually like that we then have 16th notes in our notation, but I think being able to clearly see the information in the tablature is useful as well. So, yeah. Let me keep going. Same again. And then... So, ba, 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 ba. So I'll do a copy and paste there. Ba, 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 ba. Plays the higher double stop. Ba, ba, ba. So we've gone from... We're just higher. Now that's definitely trill, right? Yeah, okay, so I'm going to have to talk bars here, unfortunately. And we're going to kind of see the downside of the way sync points in Guitar Pro work now. So... Love that melodic minor harmony. Oh, he doesn't play a double stop at the end. So, just deciding, I kind of have to grace note both of those. So that's our phrase, right? What a ridiculous player. Yeah, this is our phrase. And this presents like a problem to me, because what we have here is a bar 2, right? So I would say, oh, okay, I can either make it a bar of 3 and just have the audio sync work, which I can do. Let's do that quickly. So it'd be like that. And it feels wrong to say, oh, he's going from 135 BPM to 200 BPM. But then the alternative is to have a bar 2/4 there. You put that bar 2/4 in, and yeah, you'll see the issues with this. So I put the bar 2/4 in, and then we go. You have to delete sync points now, resync up. Yeah, so now we have a drop of 135 to 99. Now, dropping makes more sense because that's kind of what we do. We slow things down. But the other concession, or the other question you ask yourself is, to me, the harmony actually changes here. So then I say, oh, okay, well, is this a bar of 2/4? So a bar of 3/4, then a bar of 2/4, followed by a bar of 3. That kind of makes sense to me. But I don't want to get into this messy world where now all of my transcriptions are free time ones, I should say, changing time signatures like every bar. So it's like you are always battling with convention versus ease of understanding or ease of comprehension. Yeah. Convention versus comprehension is probably the best way of putting it. To me, this one breaks me because I just can't decide. I'm going to leave it as 2/4 because I've done that now, but yeah, I don't like that. Anyway, let's transcribe the next phrase. Check for comments. An A7 chord going to a D major on beat 3. Oh, I see what you're. Do I see what you're saying? No, I'm not entirely sure what you're saying there, Alan. You have the patience of a saint. Where did you buy the grandma's wallpaper shirt? Give her for her birthday. I want it to be like Sean Baxter, but then I realised I don't like Sean Baxter. I'm wearing a Megadeth shirt today, so let's do this phrase. Really cool. So we're on. Is he playing that there? Yeah. So we're going to have. And these are things that you can practice things like this. It's not going to be playing like that. Will you play that? No. Okay, so I know my notes, but how is he fingering that? He actually is doing that. That's super cool. Very cool. Yeah. Really obtuse way of doing that, but cool. Switch back to 3. And we hear this note drop down. So 5th. So 5th again. Yeah. Really cool. Everything he plays is just like, where's this coming from? Yeah, resolving to our D sound. Yeah, that's what a wild jump. Go away. Like that, and it's, we know harmony wise it's, oh whoops. Read your comments in a second, I just want to get this phrase done. So this is problematic, because here I'm definitely hearing this as being on a beat, so then I have to ask myself, yeah, these are all on the beat, and the way I've got it notated is very much off the beat. So now I want to check here, from here, which I can't do there because you're seeing the flaws of audio and Guitar Pro. So I'm going to listen to that phrase here. Yeah, I kind of actually in 4. So I'm going to make some tweaks here. Get rid of that. Make this a bar of 4 now. See the struggles of notating free time music? Oh, Jack Gardner's texted me. What do you want, Jack? Yes, I will give you a lesson, Jack. So this, phrase, feeling it as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... That makes a little bit more sense, I think. And now our... So we play... That's really cool. And doing stuff like this really frustrates me because it's so alien to the way that I play. Nothing makes sense. I'm just double checking his fingering. Yeah, is that? Nice. When you're working on a guitar player and everything they play makes you laugh, you're just like, come on, man. Come on, why are you doing that? Why are you breaking my brain like that? Very nice. Little chromatic move. And if you want to be really pedantic about this as a transcription, you would indicate that this is hybrid picked, but for this, he actually strums that. You could actually put a little rake, a little pick like that. Now I won't because I think it makes the transcription too busy, but yeah, worth noting. Well, evidently not worth noting, but it can be noted. Does he play the 6 in there? No, just... So now, I do this. a fermata on that. Like that. So that's my phrase. Let me check the comments. I feel like somebody asked me, can you play everything I transcribe? I literally can't play the thing that I'm showing you, that I'm transcribing right now. This is, Julian Lage piece called Etude. In the third bar. Oh, here. Yeah, I'm seeing this as... I see this as being like it's like C Lydian dominant that you're playing. Resolving to the D. Chord progression wise, when I listen to this, what I'm hearing is like D major 7 to you move down a tone and play a Lydian dominant chord. That's the sound in my mind, and from an improviser's perspective. Like harmonically, that's what I'm hearing there. I know I was doing a lot of playing there, but you couldn't see my hands. But hopefully you can hear. That's what I'm hearing, and I'm not really. I'm definitely hearing that. Oh, yeah, I definitely wouldn't be hearing that as an A chord. If we compared Lage to having aspects of Jim Hall and Bill Frisell, Bach, he just sounds like Bach to me. He's just got that, like Ted Green, because obviously Ted Green has a lot of Bach in his playing, so that's what I'm hearing. Let's have a look. Do you think this could be a better musical expression with its free time as compared to if you played following? Yeah, I mean, I'm not even sure how to respond to that one, man. Yes. Actually, I'm going to go on a little rant here. I agree with Jeff Bullen. I'm an anti-metronome guy. Metronomes don't make you a better player. They don't. It just, logically speaking, when you just apply the logic, take your emotion out of the equation, metronomes don't make you better players. Every great player that you've ever listened to who had what you would call great time, the James Jamesons of the world, right? They didn't practice with a metronome. The entire history of the music that we actually play and listen to, which is African-rooted music, right? Blues-based music. I'd say we, like me at least. These guys didn't grow up playing with a metronome. That's not how they had developed the great time that we think of. But then for me, the smoking gun is when I listen to a great record that I think that has great groove, great pocket. If I think of like a Tower of Power record, I love the track by Tower of Power, Down to the Nightclub. Now, Down to the Nightclub, the time in that shifts all over the place. And I mean, it's all in 4, but sometimes they speed up, sometimes they slow down, because that's what real music does. When music gets exciting, you speed up a little bit. When the music is lower in energy, you slow down a little bit. So when I listen to something like Down to the Nightclub, I don't listen to it and say, well, this would sound better if it was recorded to a click. Because just as with dynamics, where we play louder to express in a different way, we slow down and we speed up to express. And that's an even more impactful feeling when it's done with a band. So playing with a metronome and just thinking that the metronome is your god is a great way to measure your time, but it's not a great way to improve your time. Because if you work with a metronome, so you're so damn good that everything you play is perfectly in time with a metronome, right? And then you play with real musicians and your drummer speeds up, what do? You just stay in time? And then after the gig be like, well, I stayed in time, man, you sped up. No, you move together. You move as one. You move as a unit. That's what a band is. That's why it's cool. So Julian's expressed himself here. And I guess it would be possible for us to listen to this as though it were all in time. I could do that in MIDI by taking out all the sync points. And it just wouldn't express in the same way. You know what I mean? Let me keep reading. I was at a bluegrass camp in Brevard, North Carolina, USA last month. Julian was a counselor there. Yes, case in point. Julian just at a bluegrass thing, because of course he was. Amazing to interact with Julian, watch him play every day. Incredible guitarist and so kind. Yeah, he comes across as that way. He comes across as just the most genuine, warm person. He's like he's like what your gran would describe as an old soul. You know what I mean? Like somebody that's lived for many, many generations. Yeah, love him. Yeah. Been meaning to check out the Wayne Krantz metronome. Have you used it? No, I haven't, but I love the concept. I do love the concept. I don't, funnily enough, feel the need to go and look for a metronome because I like my time to be flexible. I like my time being flexible. Always rather play along with a drum machine. It's in time and I can pay attention to the nuance. I think it's better to practice anticipating beats, which Bumblefoot talks about sometimes. Yeah, drum machine obviously is always going to be better than playing with just a metronome, but I would argue, because listen, I'm not going to sit here and say I never use a metronome, but when I do, it's just with the metronome 1, 2, and 4, and there, when you do that, you're not using it to measure time, you're using it to add another player there. You're using it to add feel to what you're playing. So, yeah. Did I hear Ben Monder's arrangement of Emily? How do you think he compares to Lage? He's a lot darker in mood. I don't like Ben's playing. I respect Ben's playing. Let me be really clear about that. I totally respect his playing, but I don't like his playing because it's like really, really modern jazz. And yeah, when I hear it, it sounds like the jazz that I don't like. It sounds like jazz with a lot of modern classical in there. And Julian can get there as well, which I'm not so much into. I prefer it when he's playing, blues rooted music. So by and large, I'm not actually a fan of Ben Monder's playing. I've not heard that particular arrangement though. Anyway, let's get back to the transcription. So let's sync what we did. So we're here, yeah. And I made a change. This is how I can get this back into 3/4. So if I see this as being 3/4, make these both quarter notes. Now I have to delete my sync points. Then like that. And I kind of, hopefully you can see what I'm doing here as being a compromise, because I actually do hear this phrase as starting on the downbeat here. But when you're notating stuff, sometimes things look ugly, man. It's funny that you brought up Ben Monder there, though, because I think when I hear this phrase in isolation, I'm like, oh, that sounds like something Ben Monder would play. So here's the start of my bar. Yeah. Yeah, so now this will sync. We got there. Keep going then. No questions, I keep going. It's funny because I'm not saying I regret what I've just said about Ben Monder, right? I have to say that I've not listened to Ben Monder in a very, very long time. And it may be a little bit more fair to say that I didn't like Ben Monder when I was first introduced to his playing, but I was first introduced to Ben Monder's playing like 15 years ago now, And maybe it's a case of I just really wasn't ready for that at the time. And maybe I should go back and give Ben another shot because maybe I'll enjoy it more now. Maybe because I hear this and I'm like, oh, this is like really modern and something about it I really like. It could be Julian's touch. I think he has a fucking fantastic touch on the instrument. Okay, let's keep going. And we've got some interesting stuff to discuss here. Yeah, this is a notation nightmare, and I'm sure the more classically minded among you know why. When he plays this, that D does he play that back there? He does. So he doesn't play. He plays. So he's holding that D under all of that. But then it goes for the E flat. So we do kind of want to put that in the transcription. From a notation perspective, the tab won't cover this, but I will put it in a way that will make sense, right? So the way I would notate that, yeah, so I'll put my, I'm going to go second voice, so Command 2 to change voice. And I'm going to go like that. Now I go back to voice 1. Now you can control voices up here as well. So voice 1, voice 2, voice 3, and voice 4. Now in voice 1, I'll write out, I'll actually do this. Yeah, like that. Now I'll go back to voice 2. And I'll do that. Back to voice 1. Back to voice 2 to put in the rest. So now, if I get rid of the notation, it's just going to display like this. And I actually, when I do my transcriptions and you download them, I would go into Style Sheet, over here, Notation, and Display Circles around half notes. I would turn that off. So it would just look like this in tab. So you're not, maybe you're getting that detail by being able to see this tie underneath, but I actually don't like that in this instance. But with the notation, you can much more effectively see that we have a 2-voice music here. The only thing I don't like, maybe I say don't like, you could do this. Yeah, I'll actually do that because I think that conveys what's going on really well. I would also really prefer it. Oh, it's done something else that I hate. I'm about to. I know. I'm going to bring up the Guitar Pro sponsor because this is sponsored by Guitar Pro, and then I'm going to rage at Guitar Pro. I also have to go into Style Sheet, and I don't have to do this very often, so I'm going to have to look here to find it. Okay, you have to deselect hide useless rests on standard notation, right? I don't know whose decision this was, but there's no such thing as a useless rest. It always gives us information. I need that rest in there because otherwise the music doesn't look complete. Yeah, I'm also going to do one other thing. I'm just going to beam those like that. Anyway, so as we carry on, he's going to start holding top notes out now. So this top note gets held. Now, how's he fingering that? Interesting. So that's in voice 1. Then I go down to voice 2 to write the melody out now. Surely not. Surely he's not doing that. He is. There's just no... Yeah, we'll go for that. What? How's he doing that? That was an open string. And he's holding that top note all the time. Like that. Yeah. So actually now I need to go back to voice one. Now this top note isn't a half note, it's a whole note. And when you look at it all together, it's like that. Oh, now I need to sync it. So low. Now you can see why transcribing free time music is a real pain. And you want to be really pedantic, you're also going to put a let ring on that, right? So now and if we listen to just the guitar, just the MIDI. Detail. Oh, there's okay. I'm gonna go back and check that jar 2306. I'm surprised you hear the intro in 3. I hear it as 4, with a 3/8 note pickup. Yeah. Very potentially. Very potentially. Let me go back and check that. I have transcribed some Grasso, yeah. I've got a video on my YouTube that went pretty viral of a Grasso solo. I saw Grasso live while I was in New York. He's an absurd player. So I'm just going to listen to this. Let me see what you're saying. So you'd be hearing... I can't hear it that way, no. I definitely can't hear it as that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2. Especially as, to hear that as 3/8 notes pickup, you'd have to be 1 and 2 and, you'd have a beat change on 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, no, definitely not. I can't hear it like that. But to your point of free time being fun, that's a great example of it. And if you had it in a book like that you totally see it published like that. Someone might choose to publish it like that, to notate it like that. Entirely possible. I actually need to change these accidentals. Not that it matters, but it matters. Yeah, we got that. All right, let's keep torturing ourselves. Actually, I'm at the hour mark. So guess what, guys? It's time for me to run a little ad, because I would really appreciate it if you would head on over to guidedpracticeroutines.com. What's guidedpracticeroutines.com, I hear you ask? Well, let me tell you. If you're looking to take your guitar practice to the next level, then check out guidedpracticeroutines.com. We have over 100 hours of full instructional videos and practice routines, so we can practice together and progress faster. Now, these all come with full Sound Slice integration and Guitar Pro downloads. You'll also have access to my entire YouTube archive of transcriptions. So check out the link in the description and be the first to know when we go live. Oh wow, look at that. Guidedpracticeroutines.com. That sounds cool. I'd love to check that out. Link in the description. Yes, 100 hours of practice routines. 100, not just 100 hours of me saying, if you practice this for an hour, that's a practice routine. No. Lessons, me teaching you everything you need to know, and then practicing it with you. Let me be your practice buddy. Practice together, progress faster. Yeah, free enough that we're both correct and neither of us is correct at the same time. Yeah. Couldn't agree with you more on that one. We have had YouTube ads live. Hope get the money for those. I hope I get the money for that. I would love it if you would check out guided practice routines and sign up to know when we go live, which is in like 20 days. Anyway, let's keep going. So, where were we? So we got... So our melody moves up, and let me just listen to it. It doesn't hold it for the full bar, so let's go. Where's the fuck is he playing that? Very, very modern classical. So second, what am I in? I'm in second voice, needs to be in first voice. So... Is he doing that? Yeah. Is he doing that? He is. It's such a wild phrase. It's just so good. Oh no, this... Okay. We have to do a thing here now. So this note here, this D sharp, slides up to a 7, but we're now just back to one voice. And I don't think if I put this like this, if I go to this and put slide, it won't actually connect to it. So I need to make all of this actually voice 1, which I'll do by putting it in voice 1 like that, deleting that. He's doing it like that. Ba 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 da, like that. So just wild playing. Now I'll sync. now we're synced. Well, as synced as we need to be. Who comes up with this stuff? Let's have a look. Oh, really, really good question. Really good question. Thoughts on finger indication for a piece like this, since it's an etude, or do you think leaving it more open for the player is best? I think you're spot on. I think finger indication is really quite important in something like this. Does that mean I'm going to go in and add it? No. But let me be clear. If this was like an actual release, something that was for commercial release, like I was working with Julian on releasing this stuff, you bet fingerings would be included, because I think they're really key, not to the execution necessarily, but to what it is, because of course etude means study, right? So in theory, if he's called this an etude, you would like to think that he's written this in a way that forces you to work on specific aspects of your technique. And holding these notes out and having other notes ring is probably one of the things that he's going for there. So yeah, I feel like I probably would put fingering indicators in on this if I was doing that for a release. Yeah. Only reason I'm not doing it here is because, well, I've been transcribing for an hour and I am currently 20 seconds into it. So that happens sometimes when you're transcribing. Even more so when you're talking to people. Let's have a look. Trying to work out what that's in reference to. Oh, okay. I'm playing with some fusion guys who are better than me next week. That's perfect. I don't have much jazz experience, and I'm nervous about soloing on 500 miles high. Any advice, Levi? It's drums, sax, bass, and guitar. Me. Yeah, I'd be nervous about that. That's definitely work. And the recommendation that somebody gave you was watch the video 500 miles high, transcribing and analysis. Thierry Verger. I saw there at the front. I'm like, what? Thierry Verger. Yeah. If you are new to playing jazz, unfortunately, it's like being new to playing any style. You know, I've got bad news, man. I'll bring myself out on screen. I've got bad news. I've got good news and bad news. The good news is you'll make it through the gig. You'll be okay. You will not die, okay? But if you're new to playing jazz, they're going to know because you don't have the accent yet. I don't have the accent, and it's a style of music that I've been, dipping my toes into for 15 years. That's probably a bad excuse, actually. Evidently, I haven't been digging it in enough, but I think obviously I don't know you're playing, but I think it's probably fair to say that my accent in the style is probably more passable than your accent, but not as passable as somebody that literally just plays the style. So I think one of the ways that you can get around that is, as long as you know the chord progression really, really well, and this is where I am with my playing now, I don't seek to sound more like the jazz players that I enjoy listening to. I seek to just interpret the chords in the way that I interpret chords and the melodies that I play, and I am a product of my influences. There's blues in there, there's a lot of country music in my playing, and I think that should be celebrated. So I'm okay playing those bluesier country-esque licks as long as I'm outlining the changes. I'm happy with that. So it's just a case of how confident you are with the chord changes. If I pull them up, yeah, okay. So, yeah, not the worst changes in the world. It's turned into a lesson, hasn't it? Let me, that. There you go. Yeah, so as long as I've got things to play, you've got to be able to make your... Can I, like wherever you are on the guitar, if I'm here and I'm about to go to a B flat major 7, can I make that? Can I make it to a B minor 7 flat 5 wherever I am? whatever it is that you happen to play. When I'm playing like that, I like to think that when I play E minor, it sounds like E minor, and then to my B flat major. This is an E7. And then, oh, that's a tricky. Yeah, so to me, that's a lot of how I'm practicing these days. Like, I'm just putting changes on, and I'm now freeing myself. Like, oh, just move anywhere on the neck that I fancy. But if you want to limit yourself and go, can I do all of those chord changes with my hand? Let's say here. So E minor, G minor. Let's do our B flat like. And for my E, A minor. I can to the F here. To my C. Let's go. And to a B. Yeah. So like it's for me, yeah, like a fretboard knowledge thing. So I know that doesn't help all that much, but it was an opportunity for me to not be transcribing for a second, which is always nice. Let's have a look. Keep going. Always good when the finger indicates that you have no hope in hell of playing it. Yeah. What's the app that I'm using for the changes, by the way? I'm using iRealB. I'll just bring that up for you. So I've got a song list in here. I've got 2,970 charts in here. And it has backing tracks for everything as well. So I write a lot of my own charts out in here for things that I play and for things that I write. So you could use the chart. I unfortunately literally have to put my microphone on this. And I could go. Sorry, let's go again. Just sound like Scott Henderson playing jazz though. Yes, I saw your wee DM, you demon. I will let you make that decision because I can't distract myself by responding to you, and I don't want to reveal the contents of the DM. So iRealB is a good one for that, and you can set loops up and different tempos and different groove feels and all that stuff. So it's a very, very handy app. Never heard it referred to as being an accent. That's an amazing metaphor. Thank you very much. I like to consider myself quite a good teacher, and that's something that I use all the time. It's sometimes I use language and sometimes I use accent. I think it depends on the use case. I think a blues musician can sit in with a jazz musician, and then you might argue they're speaking different languages, but they have enough in common with each other that it feels more like an accent thing. Whereas, if you're a die-hard blues musician, and then you have to sit in with bluegrass musicians. Like, oh, you're speaking a different language now, if that makes sense. If you don't already frequently use swing drums and fusion drums, backing tracks focus on playing pocket, sometimes on the beat, behind the beat, ahead of the beat. I wouldn't even overthink it like that. I think with a chord progression like that, like the challenge is, can you just do this? Is iReal lacking in... Well, yeah, this is why I don't play with backing tracks. Though, of course, that's kind of the fun part, right? I can actually put it over to, like... let's put on... What have we got? Yeah, medium swing. So same progression, but with medium swing. So just put something on with a swing field. It's still not quite the same as like playing with real musicians, but then no backing track ever is going to be that. Well, you can hopefully see that when I switch over to a swing feel, my playing comes more alive because swing feel is like really internalized in the way that I play from listening to all those great swing players. Targeting thirds, 1, 2, 3, 5, really useful when I started playing jazz. Yeah, so that was initially what I was demonstrating there. You want to be able to hit those chord changes and just target the third on each one of them. So E minor, third, third of G. So I'm just targeting those thirds. Yeah. Anyway, I'll be honest, guys, this transcription is really, really hard. So any questions that you ask that allow me to be distracted from it, even in the slightest, I'm going to take them. Where was I? What? So I'm skipping out on the... Oh, is he? Nice. There's just no... How does someone do this and make it feel natural? And I think what you'll notice, the more you do stuff like this, you notice how I didn't have to go looking. Kind of want this. You can hear it in there. You get better at hearing a thing and immediately being able to identify the top note and the bottom note, and then you're filling in the middle. So I'm not going to put that in there because I don't think it's intentional. I think is the idea. Oh, nice. And I hear the bottom note, ba ba, moves up. It's like 4 chord to 5 chord. Ba ba. But we got that grace note on there, and I do think it's important. So I will do it as like that. What is going on? What is going on? Not an opening? Yeah, so. We can get that. There's no good way. He just does it the badass way. It's just ridiculous. Like, if you want really, like, expert level challenge, just take that. Just spend your time going. And then you listen to the fluidity that he plays that with. And I'm slow here, 50% speed. It's so fluid. Oh, he might... Yeah, okay, he's not fretting that. That's an open string, which maybe makes it easier. I'm pretty sure he's fretting that. Yeah, you can see that he picks the low E string here. So it very definitely is. Very cool. Let's keep going. Then we'll sync it. that. Oh. So these sort of diatonic sixths are like a wonderful technical challenge for you to play. What a phrase. So this kind of allows me to talk briefly about the concept of like guided practice routines. So not to plug the website again, but when I look at a phrase like this, like it's masterful. It really is masterful. Now, if I bring up my guitar, check comments. Yeah, not playing that open air is diabolical. And I, if you go back and watch, I like really watched the video, and you can clearly see the pick picks the low string, and then picks the low string, and very obviously moves over to the A string for this. So, why the hell not, eh? Yeah, you can do it that way. Anyway, so concept of guided practice routines is when I'm studying things like this, or when I find things like this that I think are really beautiful, I want to integrate them into my playing a little bit more. Then I'm going to practice them, right? And I'm going to make a routine, and that routine might be. Let's make it simpler than this, right? So I teach a 3-position bass system. So I'll do it in C major. If I take a C major chord in E shape, I can play that scale as a scale, and I can also play diatonic 6. Apparently I'm a little bit rusty on that. So that is a thing you would practice. And I have these in my guided practice routine books where I'll change direction. So I might go like. I think stuff like that is really cool, and you can spend a lot of time practicing stuff like that. But then what Julian has obviously done here is gone, okay, it's one thing to play these melodically. Get the pattern in your mind. But then it's another thing entirely to go. That's cool, right? So then the practice routine would be we set up a backing track, we set up a loop, and we go. And we practice this together. And you're looking to practice a thing like that until it becomes really automatic. And then we might go. Obviously, I need to practice myself because that, as a mechanic, I'm weak at. So you might then go, okay, well, we need an exercise that's just this. Now, I'll be honest, I would say that the lower part of this shape is, for my playing tastes, not as useful as the higher part. So I might practice. And I want that in my playing, and I mean in my playing. So I kind of want. Yeah. So I like to link everything to a chord, triad voicing. So my access point for that is this. It's in my triad forms. So as soon as I can see this, then suddenly it's something that I can actually use in my playing. And then I say, okay, can I do that in G, or can I do it around the circle of fifths? But if I'm just playing in G, it's like really technically quite challenging. And at this stage, it's not all that musical, but then I give myself a chord progression. If I take something like... setting on a loop. So if I go do something solely... To my ears, ends up sounding really, really fun and musical. And I'm never interested, if I'm honest with you guys, just never interested in learning a transcription. It's just not how I roll. It's never been how I roll. I transcribe a lot, but I don't sit and learn this stuff. I take bits from it and I go, oh, I liked what he said there, because when I listen to this phrase, this bit here, right? It's really cool musically, right? But it has no place in my playing. But something like that, not that last chord, because I'm a blues guy, I'm a soul music guy. But the concept of like just being really good at my diatonic sixths within position, and like of course he's playing like over a D chord, or at least that's what I'm seeing there. That's a D major, and if I just bring my camera up just a second more. So we practiced, or I made you practice, up in my E shape. But I should be able to do that around like I guess I'll technically move up here. So I should be able to do that same thing here by going. That's why. Yeah, you have to do that. So, like, I think knowledge of what you're transcribing for kind of motivates you to transcribe, and that's what I've retained from this. Anyway, let me mark that out. So, Now here, what we do here is we do this. We take the middle of the bar, put the middle of the bar there. That. And then I just line up my next bar, which, if I zoom out so I can see, meant to zoom out of that. There we go. So for me, that's actually beat 3 of this bar. So now I'll have to go in and put that last, the lead into the next phrase, but we would have. So the sync, I think it makes the learning process of the transcription, or the study process of the transcription, much better. If we go from the top. Now, when I look at this, it bugs me a little bit because here I've really gone to the effort with the notation to make sure the music notation has really conveyed the intention, whereas here I've just gone back to one voice because I just want to power through it. Let me check comments. Yeah, how does he do that? Julian is the one. And Electric World loves me. That's nice. At least someone does. Am I still live? Something happened. My stream says that there's literally no one watching. Not one person. Maybe that's true. How strange. I can see on YouTube that there's people watching, but in my OBS it says no one's there. I am live, yeah. Yeah. OBS says says that we have zero viewers, which would be depressing, wouldn't it? So I wouldn't put I'm not looking for the detail of the slide, but it's a slide from 5 up to 10, or A. Just bring the ad up for Guitar Pro again. Just a reminder, guys, that Guitar Pro currently have a sale on. Guitar Pro is the piece of software that I use to notate, and if you want to grab yourself a copy of Guitar Pro at 20% off, now is the time to do that because they have a sale on. It lasts for another 2 days, I think, so get in there while you still have an opportunity. I have used the Guitar Pro for my entire transcribing life. I've been using Guitar Pro since when version 5 came out. We're on version 8, version 9 is coming. Yeah, like 15, 16, I don't know. Time just flies, man. Probably about 17 years now I've been using Guitar Pro. I also use Dorico when I need to do like real notation stuff for like piano. But when it comes to Guitar Pro is what I work in. It's just what I work in. could just listen to him all day. It just leaves me speechless listening to him play. And it's more than that, actually. Like, you not only are you hearing an incredible piece of music here, the video for it, like the actual album release version of the audio, is live filmed. So there's no edit on this, He's not miming this video to the audio because the timing pushes and pulls. Instagram guitar player, he is not. So let's power through this. Could write that as a trill, obviously. Open string. Open D. Hammer-ons there. Oh, it's a slide. Oh, hello. Oh, that's very good. Like that. Is he playing that? What am I hearing there? I don't like it's happening, but it's yeah. Like a minor 6 chord, E minor 6. So that's my phrase with a brush upstroke. I'll just put a brush downstroke even, something like that. Now I can sync it. See, I got to go through that really quick. Because I can work fast when I'm not talking. Then here. Done. All right, let's check it. So coming in from... I'm okay with that. Guitar Pro 4, yeah. Where does the time go, man? Feels like just yesterday I started doing this. I mean, I'm super glad. I've enjoyed the ride, and I'm going to keep enjoying the ride. As long as I can keep finding cool things that inspire me to sit and transcribe, yeah, I'll be here using it until Guitar Pro 400. Well, probably not, actually, to be fair. That's being billed on my Amex. Ah, Guitar Pro, you finally accepted my collaboration on Instagram. Good boys. Getting there, guys. 10 more minutes. So from here, it feels like the field changes, right? That's okay. That's like a... I'll just put a triplet in for that, I think. So... like that. So copy but delete the bass note. Does that thrice. Same as before. Oh, does he move up? It's definitely a G there. Now here, I'll put 8/16 in there, just to allow it to breathe a bit more. And then yeah. So same as before, but now with an open A. Very soft. Copy from before. I'm actually going to put that as the F sharp because that's very clearly the intended note. It's like when you listen to him, you just never know where it's going to go. You're just on the edge of your seat. What's he going to do next? Oh, we're going to go frigid. Such dynamic control as well. To our original theme. Woo! Alright, let me do a little bit more. Oh no, let me sync this. So solo that. No, stupid repeat button. Because that allows me to put a fermata on this last note in the bar. Okay, let's keep going. How is he doing that? You know what? I don't like these as triplets. I don't like them as triplets. I like dat do dagada daku dagada rather than dat do dagada datu dagadu daku dagadu da. The more I look at them, the more they bug me. So I'm just going to fix them. I think I should just be able to do that. I know it's like a case of like, well, what's the difference? There isn't one. It's just I have to look at the notation and ask myself, if this sheet music was put in front of me, how would I interpret it? Which one feels closer to the intention? And to me, that one feels a little closer to the intention. So I have to change them here. Just copy paste that twice. Change the bottom note. change the bottom note to a B. Oh, sorry, is he hitting the top note on all of these or not? Yeah, he is. Same as before, but now down E. Repeats the phrase. So it's like an A7. Whoops. A7 sus. Like that. Think that conveys the intention? Yeah, me too. Oh, you can't see. Sorry. Whoosh. 3 comments. Yeah, that overdrive sound is so good. I'm going to shoot now. Thanks for all you do. You're very welcome. It's a great community you've got going. I do my best, man. Well, you guys, it would be nothing without you guys. It really would. Dip back into YouTube after a long time away. I remember watching your vlogs back in the day. Awesome. I'm still at it, man. Keep doing great things, and thank you again. Yes, thank you very much for your support. Love watching the master at work. Can I ask an off-topic question? How would you advise working on blues jazz phrasing? I understand all the theory behind the right notes, but it still sounds like shit. 30 and 32. Hang on. Yeah, totally. That's a bitch. I was literally like, how is he doing that? But he's, it's Julian. He's just doing it. How would I recommend what? So one of the problems that you've said there, Henderson Guitar, is you said, I understand all the theory behind the right notes, but it still sounds like shit. Theory comes after music, and it's less important than the music, So I think that when it comes to phrasing in a jazz blues type setting, it's not about even counting, to be honest. It's about things that fit. And what I mean by that is, if I bring my camera up so I can see myself, around it somewhere. There we go. So what I mean by that is, when I play phrases, when I'm playing a blues or when I'm playing anything, I don't play like this. So here are the right notes, 3, 4. It doesn't, none of that works. I should look at the camera. I'll look at the camera as I'm doing this. None of that works because that sounds like I'm rambling. Yeah. What you need to understand is everything that you play when you're playing anything is just like the way I'm talking to you now. Notice how I left a pause there because I want to emphasize that and I want you to think about the thing that I've said there. I don't speak like this. If I were to speak like this, it would be really hard for you to follow exactly what I was saying. And then I'm just ultimately rambling. You don't really know what's happening. And the more I go on, the more uncomfortable you are. You're desperately waiting for me to stop so you can really process what's happened and what comes next. And I'm running out of breath. And before you know it, that's what it sounds like when you just play and play and play. And now let me be clear. I'm not saying space, though, of course, space is important. But when I play on a blues, when I phrase on a blues, everything fits in bars, and it fits in, for me, 2-bar phrases. So if I improvise, I'm going to play a 2-bar phrase. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat. Repeat. variation. Maybe you go somewhere different. There's 2 bars. 1, 2. It's hard to count while I'm playing. So what I'm getting at there is it sounds similar to me just playing a long stream of notes, but actually if you really break down what I'm playing there, everything is like a 2-bar idea. So I'll play something simple. I don't like that again. There's a phrase, right? And then I add the repetition of it. And then I go somewhere different with it. Now suddenly it sounds like I'm phrasing. So yeah, lots of runs of 8th notes because that's how I play and that's how I phrase, and it's, you know, that's me. That's me as an improviser. But yeah, when you play like that, if you think everything you play fits in these nice 2-bar phrases, then your chord changes just happen, because playing over a blues is, okay, I play a bar of the 1 chord, or sorry, a phrase of the 1 chord, another phrase of the 1 chord. Now I must be on the 4 chord. Must be on the 1 chord. Must be on the 5. 4. So yeah, if you analyse my phrasing there, it's these 2-bar phrases. And I think that that's what I hear when I listen to good swing players phrase on like a jazz blues type thing. There is obviously Jar 2306 has said horn players need to pause to breathe, so should a guitarist. I think there's obviously an element of truth to that. But ultimately we are different instruments, so I think it's okay that our phrasing isn't always like a horn player. But yes, taking that idea of exhaling as you're playing, if it go, I should leave a pause there because I finished exhaling. I think that sometimes trying to do that in your actual playing ends up sounding a little bit forced. It's like you're trying too hard to focus on the breathing. I think you can add space in your playing just by singing more of the stuff that you're doing. If you can't vocalize what you're doing, what is the point? So again, back to my blues. vocalize. Boo da da boo da. Let's go. Boo da da boo da. Ba da ba da ba da ba boo da ba. Boo da ba do boo do. Or bo bo ba do bo do. Bo ba do bo do. Ba da boo do da. It's like I'm just trying to play little things that sound like I would vocalize them. Then, of course, if I vocalize whilst I'm playing, I might go. So think like BB King. If I go 3, 4, ba da da da, ba da ba da 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 da, bow, ba da da da, ba da 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 ba da ba da ba ba. I don't like to actually sing while I'm playing, so. Like I'm trying to hear those things, and when I'm playing, that is what I'm doing. If I go. You'd think that you can't go. It has to be. That's enough playing from me. Enough talking from me. But hopefully that made some sense. If everything that I've talked about there has resonated with you, then might I make a suggestion? If you're looking to take your guitar practice to the next level, then check out guidedpracticeroutines.com. We have over 100 hours of full instructional videos and practice routines, so we can practice together and progress faster. Now these all come with full Sound Slice integration and Guitar Pro downloads. You'll also have access to my entire YouTube archive of transcriptions. So check out the link in the description and be the first to know when we go live. Yeah, guidedpracticeroutines.com is coming soon, about 20 days. So please do sign up for information on when we go live. I'm sure you're going to really enjoy it. I think I'm good at the teaching thing. I think I've got a lot to offer, and I think practice is one of those things. I just did a lot of playing, but that's not practice, you know. I think practice is really important. I'm a big believer and an enjoyer of practice. And I think practice is hard. It's hard to sit on your own and practice for a long time. So join me on Guided Practice Routines and we can practice together. And then to finish up, if I just play the Julian transcription, we listen along, we have this. Oh, I've not synced this part. Close enough, though. Ah, this fucking dog. Hang on. Let me bring him up. Come here, pal. Come on, come on. Come here. Let's say hello. Hello. You're going to say hello? You're up here. Brother, you're here. Look, say hello. You okay, pal? All right, we're going to go take you for a walk? Yes. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I've been Levi Clay. You've been awesome. Like, subscribe, comment, all of that good stuff. Go and check out the link in the description to Guitar Pro. Grab yourself a copy of the software while it's still on sale. It's on sale for another couple of days. I'm going to transcribe a little bit more of this tomorrow, then get a video edited together and upload the transcription to YouTube. So, yeah, check out for that. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, and, oh, don't get caught.